some measures, which is why all courts in Nigeria, from the lowest court to up to Court of Appeal, will now have what we call ADR, Alternative Dispute Resolution.
Okay.
Lagos State has a very robust alternative dispute resolution systems where you have mediators, arbitrators, even if you don't want to go through the usual court system. The challenge here is ignorance. A lot of people don't know that you can take your debt recovery case to Lagos State multi-door court house.
Where is that located?
It's located all over the places.
All over Lagos.
All over Lagos. And even if you don't know where it is, you
address?
can go to court. The court can direct you.
Okay.
You can go to court and say, I'm looking for the multi-door court. The moment you get to the multi-door court, you tell them what your challenge is. They will tell you exactly what to do. You don't even need to file a formal case that will stay for ages in court. The multi-door court will tell you exactly what to do. Whether your case needs arbitrators or mediators, you discover that they will summon or they will invite both the debtor and the creditor, and it will be amicably settled in a very civil manner. It doesn't take time, and it doesn't take much money. So it doesn't have to go to the police, and you don't have to file the action in court, because of the number of cases in court and the technicalities employed by lawyers, cases actually stay long in courts, which is the reason why people think, this man is owing me, I need my money for business, and instead of going to court to stay for 5 years, let me go to police to recover the money.
The money. All right. So you heard about the alternative dispute resolution.
Yes.
Lagos is active with that, according to Barrister Don.
Lagos multi-door courthouse.
Lagos multi-door court.
They are doing fantastic job.
Fantastic job.
Yes.
All right. So if you're listening, this is Spotlight on Super FM. You can call in, although we're looking at the Nigeria's criminal justice system. We're assessing it this morning. And you can be a part of the conversation or call to ask questions. Barrister Don is a human rights lawyer, and he's passionate about justice for the common man in the country. So 0805-092-0927. That's 0805-092-0927. Or 0705-890-4927. You can send a WhatsApp message to 0705 690-0927. All right, so let's talk a bit about Farotimi's case, where you were yesterday. What's the situation with that one? What can we take away from that?
You know, ordinarily the case is sub judice. I mean, the case is pending in court.
Okay.
I'm not supposed to say
talk
much.
about it. Yeah,
talk
that's
about
true.
it.
Yeah.
I can only report. I can only say what happened. The bail has been argued. I don't think I should say everything that happened in court.
Yeah, but speculations. I mean, human rights advocates are saying, they are calling for the release. What Nigerians are talking about now is he's unfairly, arraigned. So what's the inside information you're giving out without what's going on in court? Just speculations going on.
Inside information like what?
Like he wrote a book, Alpha Babalola has sued, but now I'm saying that the police is the one opposing the bill. Shouldn't that be coming from Alpha Babalola? Just give one or two clarity as regards the situation.
Well, you see, the complainant in our criminal justice system, there are a lot of things non-lawyers and outsiders don't understand. Alpha Babalola is not the complainant. The complainant is the state. Alpha Babalola is called nominal complainant. In other words, Alpha Babalola is saying that he is the victim.
Okay.
Right? So it is not Alpha Babalola that should oppose the bail. It is the state. So you have a prosecutor representing the state. Upon moving our bail application, he or opposed it.
Okay.
But the ruling has been reserved.
Okay.
That is all I can say for now.
For now.
Yes.
Okay. All right then. So now more on the justice system. What role do you think human rights lawyers like yourself can play in promoting reforms? You wanted to say something?
Yeah, before I talk about what role human rights lawyers can play or are playing, I want us to talk about lack of resources. We're talking about how many days cases lasting how many years cases last in court, and why the dockets of the the courts is full. You go to court, you are making a submission. The court, the judge or the magistrate will say, take it easy. Wait, I am writing. In the 21st century, Nigerian government will not provide equipments that will enable magistrates and judges record proceedings without writing them down. You can imagine you have 2 trials. Our courts cannot even comfortably take 3 trials in a day. It's very shameful. Not because of the fault of the judge, but because the judge does not have equipment. You are talking, they say, wait, take it easy. The court is writing. Longhand. So the court cannot take 2-3 trials in a day. In civilized climes, how many months or how many years did it take them to conclude Ike Ekwuremadu's case in the UK? If it were to be in Nigeria, the case will last for 10 years, 20 years. The clog, the inefficiency resulting from lack of resources in our court system is alarming, which is the reason why they are seeking for independence. Do you understand? They're seeking for judicial independence so that they can run their system.
But it's an arm of government on its own.
That's in papers, in books.
Okay.
So, talking about the delay in the system that makes an average Nigerian run away from the court, this is one of them. That the courts are not able to dispense justice as quickly as possible because they don't have the resources to do so. I'm not talking, of course, you know that when I talk about systemic corruption, the judiciary is not completely free.
Exactly, I was going to ask you that.
The judiciary is not completely free. So, but it is left for the government to make provision for the judiciary. You equip yourself and let the heads of the courts supervise these things. Okay, are there courts that don't have recording equipment? Why don't you have? Has money been provided? Do you understand? So let government make resources available to the court system so that justice will be dispensed as quickly as possible as we have it.
Okay, so what are some what are some issues within the judiciary? Like you said, they're not entirely exempted from the process.
Yes.
The EU process we're talking of. So what are some loopholes you can identify?
In the judicial system.
Because lately we're always getting court rulings back and forth. It's now like the judiciary is taking the place of the police when it comes to what's it called? It's like, oh, there is a court ruling and then you get another court ruling. It's like, okay, you're not fighting, you're not interpreting the law exactly. You're getting into, mud fight and
I quite understand the embarrassing situation you're talking about. That's what we call foreign shopping. People looking for where a judge or a court that will give them judgment. So they are shopping for courts. That results in having conflicting rulings and judgments as we have them today. The head of the court, that is the CJN, has put in place what we call there's a process you have to file to tell the court that, hey, this case I'm filing here at the Federal High Court, Lagos Judicial Division, has not been filed in another division, to ensure that we don't have, we call it non-multiplicity of actions. But even at that, despite that, you still have conflicting rulings and conflicting judgments.
Okay.
What would you say is the problem? I speak with great deference and respect to our judges and magistrates, but the truth of the matter is that allegedly, some judges compromise the system. Some
I hope
magistrates
you don't get in trouble for this conversation.
That's why I say allegedly.
Allegedly, okay. Now you said allegedly.
Yeah.
All
Allegedly, some judges and magistrates compromise the system by collecting money and shutting their eyes to judicial precedents. Collecting money and don't care that judgment has been given in Kano, and so they collect money and give a conflicting judgment in Abuja. They collect money and give a conflicting ruling in Imo State, even though they know that there is a judgment, existing judgment on the same matter for the same parties. That's what we call systemic corruption. Remember, I said that the judiciary is not exempted. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Basically, the Nigerian system is a corrupt system.
Okay, yeah, we've talked about that extensively. But now let's go back to focus on the common man. What are some of the issues that you think should be brought to the fore, and how do you think they can be protected when it comes to human rights?
Now, how many times have you ever heard that a rich man was beaten into coma or even killed by the police? If you don't go out there, if you don't go to police formations, detention centers, prisons, you will not understand why I'm passionate about the poor, the indigent. They are being killed. They are being brutalized, dehumanized. One, a lot of them are ignorant. Two, even when you're not ignorant, your real sin and crime in Nigeria is that you don't have money to pursue your cases. If you don't have money and you find yourself in police nets, it is a sorry situation. I keep saying this at different fora. The government should not allow Nigerians to be in prison, outside prison, in their own country. Somebody told me the other day, it's a barrister, do you know that Nigerians prefer to be in prison in the US than to be free in Nigeria?
Imagine.
It is very painful. And so at times they will call us and say, why are you talking like this? Why are you doing this? Why are you embarrassing the police? I'm not embarrassing the police. Police is my friend.
Okay, so where does the judiciary come in when it comes to cases like that you've talked of? The beating, harassment, police brutality? Because
the judiciary cannot do anything except the cases before the court. Before in the court. What would the judiciary do? Judges can't say anything about cases that are not before them. So, but how does the case get to the police, get to court? If it is criminal in nature, how does it get to the police? But the police has the exclusive job of investigating the case, and it is whatever they bring to the court that the court will look at, will consider. Do you understand? The police will do whatever they like with the evidence. They can do whatever they like at the risk of talking too much.
Allegedly.
Yes, yeah. So the police and the DPP, have a lot of things to do before the case gets to the court. The court can only interpret what is before them. So oftentimes people cry, "Oh, this judgment does not represent the justice of the case." Well, at times it is because of the type of evidence the police has brought. If the case has been compromised along the way, the court can only interpret what is before them.
But do you think that's because the common man has lost faith in the judiciary?
Exactly. The common man has lost faith in the judiciary. The common man has lost faith in the police. The common man has lost faith in the Nigerian government.
But you've talked about the police heavily. But I want to point out that corruption, I believe it's a collective failure on every part, every arm of the government, every institution. I don't think it's peculiar to the police force.
I just said so. The reason why I always talk about the police is because they have a lot to do with the freedom or otherwise of poor Nigerians.
Let's do a brief assessment of the police now, since that is the issue. How do you think? What are some of what are the root causes you can identify that is the reason the Nigeria police is the way it is, and what are some reforms?
Number one, we must say the truth. Poor remuneration. This time I speak for the police. It is like monkey the walk, baboon the chop. An average police officer his take-home pay cannot take him halfway home. But my pain is that they try to net it off with the poor Korokwe man who is driving on the way. They will stop him and collect his money. The Keke Napep man that is driving on the way, the police will stop him and collect all his money to net off. This police officer has family. You know how much a bag of rice is. And look at his salary. Whether it can feed his children for 2 days or for 1 week. So the corruption in the police is fueled by poor remuneration.
But other people earn poorly and don't do these things. A lot of people earn poorly in the country and don't do.
A lot of people earn poorly. That is also fueling corruption and in crime. Corruption in all ministries, departments, and agencies. Remember that corruption is not only in the police system. The corruption is everywhere, in all ministries, in all departments and agencies. Okay. The reason why it looks like I'm always talking about the police is that the police has power over Nigerians. Do you understand? And so the corrupt man in the Ministry of Agriculture will steal money without putting anybody in prison. The corrupt man in the Ministry of Finances will steal money without brutalizing and dehumanizing any Nigeria. But the police, in trying to net off, in trying to make up for their poor remuneration, will catch Nigerians, deal with them, milk them, kill them in the process, unlawfully detain them in the process. Because...
Yeah, but those people in agriculture too are Nigerians. And could it be that because, they've not signed a petition with the police? Like you said, you have to bring the case to the police, first of all, before you talk about... I'm not entirely in defense. I'm not saying that what is going on is not worth talking about. I'm just saying that if we're looking at it from both sides.
Yes.
And I want us to begin to talk about the role Nigerians have to... the role that Nigerians play to fuel this situation we have on ground. Because it's not okay to go and collect debt when you cannot pay the money. It's not okay to go and steal somebody's fowl this Christmas. It's not okay to go and for whatever reason perpetrate all sorts of crime and then cry foul that because you're a poor man. So what is the role like with Nigerians to give it the balance as well?
Well, before I answer a question, I would like to let you know that there is crime in every country in the world. There are people who will always steal. Am I telling people to steal? God forbid. If you're talking about the role Nigerians should play, you want me to say Nigerians should not steal. That is given. Nobody should go and steal. Do you understand? Some persons will say, but people are just too hungry. Like a woman stole a bag of, what do you call it, the other day at Agege.
She stole something.
Agege market. The woman was caught and she was weeping profusely. My children have not eaten for 2 days. That's not an excuse. The system is very sorry. It makes me cry. The system is such that people, when we're talking about people, those who are stealing, who are we talking about? Are you talking about the person that stole fowl, which he shouldn't have stolen? Or the governor that stole 150 billion? When people in his state have not eaten? Which type of stealing are you even talking about?
They're all stealing.
You want me to say Nigerians should not steal so that it doesn't look like we are blaming only police? I'm not blaming only police. Tomorrow I'm in police station. Police is my friend. I am saying the corruption in the police pains me much because police has access to the life, freedom of Nigerians. They do with Nigerians whatever they... do you understand?
Yeah,
what I'm saying, the corruption in other places shouldn't be, but should it be... don't you think that the corruption of our politicians, our leaders, is fueling corruption in the system? A man that has eaten may not think of stealing yam. I don't know about a governor who has eaten 3 square meal who has stolen billions.
Yeah, but so we just want to be very clear on the situation we have at hand.
Yes.
the police have their role. The judiciary has the role as well. You catch somebody steal something, be it a sitting governor, be it an ex-governor, be it someone in, a civil service, or you catch the person and then you take the person to court. Isn't the judiciary to take over from there, determine if the person is set free, or determine if the person serves jail term or what?
You can't catch a person and take the person to court. That's what you need to understand.
Okay, so now what's the role of the legislature now in all of this when it comes to the system we have with the judicial system that we've assessed so far?
Well, legislators, like you know, they make laws. The legislators have made the administration of criminal justice system that says don't handcuff a person. When you are bringing the person to court, do not handcuff him except the person is violent. But Dele Faro to me was handcuffed. That's not the fault of the legislature because they've made a law that stipulates what to do. The constitution is there by the legislature. The criminal Administration of Criminal Justice Act and laws are there. So the role of the legislature is to look at the system and say, what do we do to remedy this? They will make a law in that direction. It is now left for law enforcement agents.
So do you think this NAS now is doing something? Do you think they have done something, or should, as regards the situation we have at hand now?
Who?
The NAS, the National Assembly now. Do you think that they are doing enough when it comes to rejigging this particular issue we're talking of?
In one hand, I would say yes. They have reviewed and made a very powerful Police Act 2020 after looking at the entire system. Say, for instance, civil matters should not be taken to police. And even if it comes to the police should say this is a criminal. I mean, this is contractual. This is civil in nature. Take it away from here. But the police wouldn't do so. So the legislature, I am not saying that they have done all that they should have done or they ought to do.
So what are they supposed to
do?
They
should also look into, they should look inwards and say, okay, since it is like this and like this and like this, what laws can we come up with to cure this menace? So they should, rather than just sitting there and debating some things that are not very relevant to Nigerians, they should look at the system. They rot in the system because they are the representatives of the people, the poor and the rich. They should look at the system and know what they should do to remedy the situation because it's bad.
So now, let's say a common man is wrongly accused of something. What can the local government, where can they come in? Because that's the one close to you. How do you get help? How are you protected? Is there any connection there? Let's say a crime happens in Agege, like you said,
Yes.
the local government overseeing that area. Is there something can you go to the LCDA, the local government to, is there something they can do as
Yes.
regards getting justice?
There are a lot of departments in both local governments and state governments. For instance, there's what we call citizenship mediation centers in Lagos State.
In the local governments?
Yes, all over the place. Citizenship mediation centers. What I normally tell people is that in case you can't remember the name, you don't even know how to describe what has happened to you, just walk into any local government. Say, I want to, please, who can I see? This is what is happening to me. That is if you are lucky not to meet touts who will corner you to wherever they like and collect your money. But I'm talking about Lagos State now. I don't know of other states.
Other states, yeah.
Lagos State has a very beautiful, robust system to take care of everything.
Okay.
The challenge is ignorance. The challenge is maybe they're even trying in publicity. Everybody that is listening to me, rather than taking laws into your hands, or maybe you don't want to go to the police, just walk into the local government and say, I'm looking for citizenship mediation center. Even if you don't get the name, correctly.
Yeah, just go there for help.
Just go there. Don't take laws into your hands. Don't just jump to the police. I know it is see something, say something, if it is criminal in nature. But you can easily walk into the local government and ask questions. you will likely get solution or at least direction.
And they have to answer you because they are closest to you.
Yes.
I mean, that's the government that is very close to you.
Yes.
And okay, so that's the much we can take on the program this morning. We're out of time, but what would be your final thoughts as regards Nigeria's criminal justice system?
My
the way
final
forward?
thought.
Yeah.
My final thought, in order not to take our time, is that every governor is the father of the state. The president is the father of the nation. They should listen. The people are crying. The people are suffering in the hands of those that they are paying to maintain law and order. They should listen and know what to do to salvage the situation. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Barrister Don Akiegbo. Is that how it's pronounced? Akiegbo.
Yes.
All right, human rights lawyer. Thank you for your time with us. So far, we hope that you've gotten one or two information as regards some kind of dispute resolution other than going to the police for everything and using the police to oppress other Nigerians. It's like, I'll call the police for you. I will arrest you. I'll lock you up. That's a very common, with the elites. It's always like, I will lock you up. All right. So you're aware that you have a local government for a reason. And do your research as regards the Lagos. Even I have forgotten. But I know you said something about the citizenship. No, the Lagos own resolution something. Alternative dispute resolution. All right then. So let's make the system better for all of us, all right? We have our roles to play. Be a good citizen and hold your leaders accountable at all levels. All right, then. Thank you. I'm Kimberly, and Spotlight will be back on air tomorrow. Take care.
Follow us on all our social